right, that's it's a little better height for the camera. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the welcome to this Drive update, November 13th. Hope everybody had a good and peaceful weekend. We had some family over, so we're quite happy to had some good family time, share some good food and good drinks, and give you a quick update on what's happening at Tesro. Um, so, lots of new stuff coming in, so we're pretty excited to update you on that. In particular, we have some long-waited items coming in, and we have been waiting for some of this stuff for quite a long time. So let's dive right into it, and we have some couple of interesting things to show you as well. So let's jump right into it. So first things first, we got some pellets, target shooting pellets. So 4.5 millimeter or 0.177. They should be up on the website Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, that's good. Winter season is starting. Lots of people going back shooting indoors and getting ready to shoot a little bit more air rifle and air pistol. So the timing is a little bit good for that. The next thing that's coming in is we do have a Lapua shipment coming in. This is just sort of a top up for some of the items, but a couple of things that are interesting that are coming in. There's going to be some brass and some bullets coming in. None of the hot items like the long-awaited 6.5 PRC or 300 PRC. Unfortunately, but we got some loaded cartridges, especially 223, some more 223 coming in from Lapua, and some 308 and 338 Lapua Magnum that's coming in. A bunch of bullets and a little bit of powder. Just some specialty powders, none of the core powders like N150 or nothing like that, unfortunately. Bit of 20 and 29 and N105, and some pistol powders as well. We do have I'm just looking at the list here. We have a really good shipment of Hornady incoming. So bit of a kind of mixed feeling about this one. It's a lot of good stuff coming in that we were waiting for a long time. A lot of A-tips, ELD match bullets coming in. Unfortunately, still nothing about 143, 6.5 millimeter, 143 ELDX. They are not coming in yet, and we don't have a good date on it. So unfortunately, for those of you that are waiting for those, we don't really have any firm ETA on when we should have them in the store. The good news is that we are getting some 6.5 Creedmoor ammunition with 143 ELDX bullets. Those are quite popular, and both use they are branded as a precision hunter, but a lot of target shooters use them as well. They're quite good cartridges. So those are coming. So those are coming in. Again, should be on the website early this coming up week. Since we are on the topic of 6.5 Creedmoor, we also have received a shipment of Selly and Billot 6.5 Creedmoor. I think it's 130 grain soft tip, and then one more. I actually don't have the full list here, but it will be on the newsletter and it will be up on the website very soon. Which is good because we haven't had that sort of end of the spectrum of Selly and Billot for a while. Sorry, 6.5 Creedmoor for a while. So it's good for somebody looking something a little bit more economic. As it is with 6.5 Creedmoor, you don't need to go literally hardcore and get very top of the shelf ammo to start getting good results. So which is quite nice, and that's that Celium belt is sort of mid priced in terms of the in terms of cost per round, but it's performing quite well. Lots of folks have had good results with it, and the brass is reloadable. So if you're a reloader, then that's always good to kind of have save that brass and process it and reload it again. Um, uh, the other things that are sort of on the horizon, we have some inkling about more powder coming in, but really don't want to speculate on the exact date. Last time we speculated on it, we were wrong by 6 months. So there is a shipment from Europe coming in that contains some powder, and we should be getting some. However, I do not know exact dates. The logistics and things about shipping are still a little bit. Um, I would say a little bit. They're still quite unpredictable these days. So hopefully we will see that powder um, sooner rather than later. If I had to guess, I would say uh, 2 to 6 months. We're hoping for two, but we never know. Um, the um, um, the other things that are hopefully incoming very soon. There are some rumors about CZ600s, um, but um, this is coming in as a hopeful drop by the end of the year. We again we haven't gotten any firm updates on those, so we can't really really have any confirmations. But fingers crossed that we will see these um, maybe just in time for Christmas. So it gives us something to play with. Um, this week, I wanted to spend a little bit of time on talking about some of the bullseye or target shooting related items. I have two items that I wanted to showcase and talk about them a little bit as the weather's getting colder, and some of you maybe just like myself don't necessarily shoot as much over the winter, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be spending some time behind your rifle or pistol, getting some dry fire time, and getting ready for and gearing up for the next season. For those of you that live in little bit warmer parts of the country and or have winter access to the range, this might be different. Lots of ranges around here have limited access or no access, especially outdoor ranges, of course, don't have access over the winter, or it's limited. So really kind of need to look for alternative ways to practice and kind of get a little trigger time. Of course, we can't shoot at home, but what are the things that we can do? So I wanted to talk about. I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the Scatt system, and since I can't show firearms, there's really a little bit that we can show in terms of how this really looks like um, um, when you are using it or when you're shooting it. But I can show you what the system looks like. But I want to spend a couple of minutes first describing really what that is and who is the intended who is the sort of intended end user of these. We do have a article about Scatt on our blog as well, and that's a good read to kind of dive into some of the details of it. But the shooters that could really benefit from using Scatt is all of the position bullseye type of shooters. So the more the shooter is the factor in the shooting discipline that they're using. So kind of bullseye with a sling or anything offhand, where the shooter is really a very large factor because they're actually holding the rifle or pistol for that matter, is where a Scatt system is very useful, because what it does, it's tracking and tracing your movement and it's simulating what happens during the shot. Um, and so why is that useful? Well, you can basically dry fire at home and kind of have it live on your laptop or your PC or Mac. Showing you what the simulated result would look like. It's quite accurate. It simulates it because it can see what you're basically how you're aiming. So unlike the simpler systems like Mantis or some of the other ones where it's really tracking just the sort of the recoil and the micro movement, and some of the laser based systems, Scatt is very accurate. It does it comes with let's actually take it out of the package here. It's equipped with there's a couple of different models of it, but the one that I happen to have on hand um, is the um, is the one that comes with a high-speed camera. So it literally sees the target, so it knows what you're aiming at. Oops. And this is just what attaches to the rifle or pistol. So it tracks your movement, and because it can see the target, it really knows what you're aiming at, and it knows what your movement is and what you are aiming at the point of the trigger release. And that can really provide some extremely useful information on how your hold is and how good your timing is. Are you holding too long, too short? Are you jittery? Are you shooting in between your heart rate and all those kind of things. Now, Scatt it's a simulator, so of course, if you're going to be using it at home, it's extremely useful. But it is recoil safe. So if you want to put it on your rifle when you're out shooting at the range, it is usable as well. It's not an electronic target, so it does not know where the actual projectile is going to impact, but it does know where the muzzle is pointing at the point of a trigger release. And I personally use Scatt. I have used it for many years, probably over 15 years at least. And that's this one. The model that I showed you is the one that I use. I used also the previous model, which is called Scatt USB, which uses a little bit different technology. So if you are ISSF shooter, or if you're shooting any of the disciplines where you're free holding your pistol or your rifle, or anything that they're shooting offhand, Scatt could be a very useful device to help you with training if this is the type of training that you intend to do over the winter. Also, it helps with providing some additional data on what is happening during that shot release. We know what we see, or we think we know what we see at least when we release the shot. We know what the shot ends up producing on the targets that we are shooting, whether it's a steel target or paper target, because we look at it through the scope, or we can or when we go to retrieve the targets. However, we don't really know what's happening in that moment when we're doing a shot release, and this is kind of where Scatt comes in, and it can record all that information, helps us out. Now, there has been a bit of a drought on getting Scats in. This is kind of why I wanted to talk about it this week. We heard that from our supplier that we will be getting some in. They are made in Russia, and the company is not associated with the current regime in any way. I should mention that. They're a bunch of good guys. There's just shooting geeks kind of like us that want to they put a product out, and we heard that we will be getting some in, and we're quite excited to have them in. Lots of clubs and lots of shooters are waiting for these to come in. If you're also, there's a biathlon model. There's various attachments depending on what type of firearms you're attaching it. So there's a muzzle adapters. So for 9mm or 40, let's say if you're putting on a pistol, generally if you're putting a rifle, there's a bracket that goes around around the barrel, and that's a barrel mounted. So yeah. So if you're looking for something to help you with enhance your training, especially during the time when there was a little no or little range access. Scatt's certainly a very good a product to look into. If you're not really sure if it could help you, drop us an email or give us a call, and we can kind of go through what is the use cases for it, and whether it would be useful for what you are trying to improve and work on, and which model might be the best one to suit your needs. The other product that I wanted to highlight for this week is the again, as I said, we focused on target shooting, so I got it upside down. It's this KK50 rifle scope. It's actually, no, I had it upside down first, the second time. So this is a bit of a special scope. And I'm showing you this side here, so you can see kind of what reticle looks like. There are not that many scopes. As a matter of fact, I don't think any are available in North America that have this type of reticle. So if you're a bullseye shooter, so you're shooting a black, a round target. So your aiming mark would be something that's sort of a solid black, round, circular mass. Shooting with a traditional sort of a reticle that is crosshair or any of the variants might be very, very difficult, because simply because that crosshair is going to be drowned in the black mass. Now with this scope, again, you can only see the reticle on the picture. With this scope, the reticle is really going to sit around the aiming mark. What does that mean? So that means that actually you can use it in the same way that you would use your PEEP iron sights. But it's a scope, which means it's obviously a little bit easier. You can adjust the magnification, and target acquisition is going to be more or less the same. But if your eyes are kind of getting not or less perfect, I should say, and shooting with iron sights is difficult, or if you just don't like shooting iron sights because you find it it's too difficult to shoot it, or you want to train your hold but not really, you want to kind of see how your how steady you are. This is one of the really easily accessible scopes that's quite useful. It comes a really nice sort of a well thought out package. It comes with the rings on it, so it really is kind of plug and play. Let's take it out here. So it comes with the rings, and the rings are based on the European dovetail. So technically, it can just go right on. And most of the rifles used for bullseye shooting come with European dovetail. So if you're using Tesro rifle, Walther, Anschutz, Feimer bow, if you're using CZ, they all come with this sort of a dovetail. It's a little bit hard to see, but yeah, maybe you can see it here, and kind of screws right on. So if you're using already iron sight, you can replace it just with a scope. It's not very expensive, in the realm of scopes. Actually, it's less than it costs less than a decent iron sight as well. So if you really want to kind of get into the bullseye shooting, if you want to either supplement your iron sights, or if you want to maybe enter some competitions where they are allowed to shoot with any sights, this is definitely a good scope to start with. Also, it's kind of a nice to for somebody that's just getting started with shooting. If you want to bring somebody to the range, and iron sights could be a little bit daunting and a little bit hard to set up for somebody that's just starting out first time, and maybe they're not really going to be coming back to shoot again, but you want them to have a kind of pleasant experience trying out. Scope is always very, very easy to start with, and it's a very kind of plug and play. Yeah, so this is It's made by Hawk. Comes with a lifetime warranty. It's rated up to I don't know actually what caliber, but I know folks have used it on 308. So I know that other Hawk products are rated up until a quite large calibers. So if you even if you're shooting a centerfire rifle, some with a bullseye target, this could be something useful. It is really intended 50 to 100 meter range. It doesn't have a lot of glass in it. So if you're going to be shooting something that goes, further distance, you might find it's limiting in that case. But for small bow shooting or centerfire shooting, I would say up to 100 meters, which is kind of covers most of the ranges these days. It's a quite useful product. Yeah, so that's the two things I wanted to highlight for this week. Actually, I just wanted to show again the reticle here, and you can see that as you magnify it, you can kind of see how the picture is going to look like depending on what the magnification is, and that's really kind of where the scope kind of shines in when you're shooting a bullseye type target. And on that note, we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up for today. We started a little bit later today. We're playing around with a different type of different time slots. So we'll see what works best for everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. It comes out every Tuesday. Links to all the products and everything will be on the newsletter. We can't due to YouTube's policy, we cannot post any links to any of the firearms related products on the channel, but they are in the newsletter. Again, and if you want to email us, it's info at tesro.ca, tesro.ca, or phone number 613-729-8059. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button so you know when we're live. And we'll chat again next week. Have a great week, and we'll meet again soon.